today I want us to do actually it's more of what most of you know, introduction to computer networks, but I'll do it in a different way. Najua ulikuwa umezoea darasa ama from whatever you read, but I'm going to do it with comparison to something else that the internet, I mean the computer network, so the internet in general replaced. To start with, we usually define computer network as that connection between two, or it can be two or more computers. If you connect two or more computers together, that one is a computer network. And why do we connect them together? It is for the purpose of communication. So anytime you want to communicate, you want to share files, you want to share storage, you want to share a printer, you'll be required to connect computers together. And by doing that, we call that one a computer network. There's a very big difference between a network and a computer network. A computer network is made up of what we call, okay, they are computers, but we like using the term called node. My screen is big enough for you to see. There's something we call nodes. Kama ile tu ya maharagwe ya kawaida. Nodes are, in simple words, nodes are end devices in a network. Anything utaconnect kwa network ya mwisho, computer, printer, umeconnect camera, yeah, they're called nodes. Printer, scanner, if you have even a television nowadays, you can connect it to a network via Wi-Fi or a cable. Yeah, we call them nodes. So anytime you connect nodes together, you form a computer network. So computer network is made up of nodes or computers. The other networks, I won't touch it. Here near what your business and the other courses. So once you know how to define a computer network, we go ahead and look at something more. Nataka nifunze nikikombea computer network to the old mailing system. Hiyo ya kutuma barua ya posta. Unaandika barua, unaweka kwa envelope, una seal mzuri, unaandika destination, unapeleka kwa posta within a month ama 3 months depending with how far the destination is. Barua yako inafika, mtu yako anasoma, ana reply, inarudia. So that's how computer networks operate in large scale. But in small scale is me and you, how we talk. That's how computer need to talk. You can hear me, I can hear you because we are connected. Either uko within where I am ama via different connection. But anyway, nichore hapa computer. I'm not so good at drawing. These are two computers like so. Yeah, then there's this connection hapa katikati. Let me make it bigger. That one is a computer network, two connected together. And you are saying we connect them together for the purpose of communication, sharing files, storage. So anytime of course, we connect to you, unataka connect. You connect to your friend's phone via Bluetooth because you want to share some music or a file. You connect to a Wi-Fi because you want to, access the internet and share something to your friend via the social media application like WhatsApp or Facebook or Instagram. So always kuna reason why we have the computer network. And of course that one is information sharing. Now computer networks have types. We have different types of network, and types, it will depend. One of it is distance, the other one is the number of devices, and the other one is security. So a type of computer network, it depends on those three. How secure you want it to be, how close the other computers are, or the other computer is, and of course the purpose, the reason as to why you want to do that. So nitakava hizo computer networks type in a very fast speed. So we have what we call a LAN. We have another one called a WAN. I'll explain them in a few. Then we have a MAN. but sijafollow order. So LAN is local area network. MAN is wide area network. MAN is metropolitan area network. Yeah. This one is mainly is because of what you call geographical distance. For a local area network, from the name, these are devices within a small geographical area. Kuna some books ukisoma, they usually give you of within 1 kilometer, but people, just as long as they are close together, you can easily walk from computer 1 to computer 2 without having to board a bus or take a ride or run. Bora unaweza tembea ukafika. That's a small geographical area. We call that one local area network. Now, these devices in a local area network or in a small geographical area are usually connected in 2 ways. One way is what we call guided. We have what we call guided and guided types of connection. Usually inakuanga where am I supposed to place? I was explaining guided. We have guided and unguided. Guided ni via a medium, something like a cable. So once we are using a cable and we have different cables, that one is called guided. You call guided. Then unguided is wirelessly. It uses something else we call electromagnetic waves or electromagnetic field. But anyway, they are called electromagnetic waves. So that one is unguided. Ama in simple words, guided ni wire iko, unguided ni wireless. Hivyo, wired and wireless, actually, you can use those two terms if you want to put it that way. So nilikuwa niandika hapa guided. Guided is also called wired, and we also have another one called unguided. Ama wireless. Let me give you a few examples. Example of guided, we have, of course, what we call Ethernet cable, or people call it LAN cable. But anyway, the actual name is, we call it, it's called a twisted cable or a twisted pair cable. We like using that one for local area network. You can't find that one in the other types. You can't find a twisted pair or an Ethernet cable in a MAN or in a WAN, huwezi fanya kazi. Because that twisted pair cable was designed to work within a small range that is now a local area network. So for guided tunatumianga hiyo, but still you can use the other cables. You can use coaxial, you can use fiber optic, but tutaongelea hizo pia. Then under unguided, still under LAN, you people know of Bluetooth, ndio? Bluetooth in operate within less than 10 meters, less than 15 meters for some devices, less than 10 for some. But actually, it usually depends with the power range of your device. The more power it can take and give, the longer that Bluetooth range. That's why kuna, sometimes if you connect your phone to let's say a wireless speaker, kuna zingine ina connect hata ukiwa mbali kidogo, kuna zingine lazima uwe within that one. And also pia inakuwa affected by physical structures like walls, obstacles, buildings kama ni mti iko, those physical structures usually affect unguided type of connection. Then we also have Wi-Fi. Kila mtu anajua Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is a local area network, type of network under unguided ama wireless form. So those two. Kuna zingine kama hotspot also ina fall along that, but some people like putting hotspot and Wi-Fi as the same thing. Not really, but they are the same thing. Tutaziona baadaye. So that is under local area network. It's a small geographical area. Then the second one, this one we are done. For a metropolitan area network, this can be These are computers connected within cities or within countries. That one we call it man. Na nikisema cities, I don't mean Nairobi and Kisumu ama Nairobi and Nakuru. Now it can be even within small regions. Kama let me say Kitale and West Pokot because they're closer, or you can use Nairobi and Kajiado. Ama hizo ziko mbali. Yes, kitu kayo. Oh, I can use something like Ruiru and Githurai for those who are in Nairobi. Like just two different areas. That one is called a metropolitan area network. And also that one iko na guided and unguided. Unguided tunatumianga only one type of cabling. We call it fiber optic. So fiber optic is the only cable we use in a man. Then under unguided, of course, we have again electromagnetic waves being used. An example, we have what we call satellite communication. Iko mtu alisahau kufinya hiyo kitu. Very kumbe umejigundua. I was saying we have satellite communication, but satellite communication pia inatumia kwa one, but in a man you can also consume satellite communication. Satellite communication, by the way, these are things mnaonanga. Mshaiona mahali wameweka kitu kama dish kadogo kamewekwa kwa building mahali, or it can be not even in a building, on a small tower. You people call them boosters. Booster tudogo tukonde, then juu wameweka vitu inakaa kama sahani. I'm not using sahani because I'm a Luya. Yeah, but I'm still a Luya. Yeah, they look plate kind of stuff. Those are what we call satellites. Unajua iko na majina mingi depending na from which company ama which device. Mtu ataziita nano, mwingine ataziita bima. Yeah, but general name it's a satellite. So that's what we use for a one. And something else about computers in this network, sometimes you can opt to use what we call boosters or repeaters. Booster ni kuboost that signal. Computer signal are usually transmitted in form of what we call an electric signal or light signal if I'm using fiber. So ikienda some distance, the electric signal inakuwa weak kiasi. So you need something to kuiboost irudi na hiyo nguvu ilikuwa nayo, because ikienda up to the destination ikiwa that weak, of course communication itakuwa na shida, of course slowness, vitu kama hizo. Ni kama wewe na wifi, if you're closer uko sawa sawa, if you go far inaanza kuwa weak, inaanza kukusumbua, connect things are slow, such kind of things. So if you have such, ama to avoid such problems, after some distance, maybe 10 kilometers or 15 or 20, huwa unaweka something we call a booster. A booster ina receive a weak signal, ina amplify na inaituma. Yeah, that's the only work of boosters or repeaters is the name we like using. So that one is a man. Then a one, which stands for wide area network. Now that's now the other one. It can be among continents, or in simple words, it's what we call the internet. The internet is the only example of one we have, by the way. That is kama ule jamaa anaitwa Elon Musk alisema kuna ingine anatutengenezea itakuja, there will be two, but as per now we only have the internet as the best example you can use for a one. Internet connects continents and of course countries within the same continent, and they form what we call a wide area network. Wide area network, this one, it's not wireless. It's only guided, but not unguided. But I know most people, or most of us usually think the internet is wireless because my phone is connected to the internet via Safaricom na sina cable. Now it's wired. 85% of the internet is wired. The backbone of the internet it's wired. Tutaona hiyo on Friday, by the way, how and why we say it's wired. Tuone the structure of the internet. But yeah, just know it's wired. How is Africa connected to Europe? How is China connected to some other China continent? China is a continent. Anyway, but how is China connected to Kenya? Because they're in different continents. Yeah. If you can answer that question, you still obviously know that the internet is guided and not unguided. But of course, once imefika within a country, that connection inakuwa splitted to smaller, simpler forms of networks. Na watu wanaitwa ISP, Internet Service Provider, kama Safaricom, Telecom, Airtel na wengine unajua, even your, but kuna wengine wadogo wale wana provide internet wadogo kama if you've ever heard of Mawingu, they are also ISPs but they are small ISP. Actually we call them WISP, wireless internet service provider, but yuko wireless vile, but yeah, we call them WISP, small ISPs. So ISP ni mtu anakupeleka kwa internet, anakuconnect. Kama mimi nikitaka internet connection, tafuta Safaricom, nunua bundles. Yeah. But I'll explain more when we are learning about the structure of the internet on Friday. For now, just know one is a wide area. One is a wide area network, of course, covers a very large geographical distance. How we are able to communicate with someone from the US in real time, of course, without delay. Ama delay ikiwa kadogo. Yeah. So those are the types of networks we have, and it's the only ones. I know someone will ask me, what about WLAN? WLAN, it's a wireless local area network. Uni Wi-Fi. Yeah, they usually just fall within these three, but these are the main types of network we have. Of course, grouped according to the geographical distance. Once we know the types of network, there is something else we usually have on a network, and that one is how communication is done. Once, how do we connect these two devices in a network? We can connect them using two options. We can connect them using a cable or what we call wireless connection. It can be satellite, can be Wi-Fi, can be Bluetooth. Yeah. So that one leads us to something else we call communication medium in computer networks. Computer networks, how does it connect computers? How does it? There are around 5 ways or 4 we do this. Na nitazilist tu hapa nikizi explain kidogo. But again, there are stuff you usually see. The first one is what we call twisted copper. And I have a few of them I'll be showing you. A twisted cable or a LAN cable, kama hii, lucky I have one here. Camera inaona hii kitu. Yeah, this is what we call a twisted pair or a twisted copper cable. You can see it's twisted, by the way. Iko twisted. Ni ile ziko twisted, but there are a number of them, but the important thing, you just know they are twisted. Iko twisted. This one, I know you can't tell the color because of my camera is very poor. This one is green, this one is brown, this one is blue, and this one, look, they told me it's orange, but my eyes can see it as red. So this one is a twisted pair. Twisted pair, of course, made up of copper. Ni cable mbili zimekuwa twisted around each other. That's why you call it twisted. Na tulisema before inatumiwa for small networks, LANs, to connect device A to device B, like so. So this one is a good example. So nikisema twisted pair na niseme twisted copper cable, it's the same thing. I'll call it a LAN cable. I'll call it an Ethernet cable. It is still the same cable. Hatuna ingine, ni hiyo tu, by the way. We don't have types of twisted pair cable. So that is the first type. Of course, you can see it's made up of copper, blah, blah, blah. Information inapita through that in form of what we call electric signal. It's usually best for small distance kind of connection between computer and computer, or computer and something else. It has a few disadvantages, including something we call noise. It suffers from something we call noise. Noise comes as an in this form. Anything that has electricity passing through it inakwanga na something we call a magnetic field. So ukipitisha hii cable penye kuna electric cable, kutakuwa na hiyo impact ya hizi electric cables iko na that high magnetic field, iko nayo low, so kuna ile effect inaleta within the cable, and hence it affects that transmission of data. That is one. The other one, you can have things like weather. Umeipitisha nje alafu umeipitisha mahali tu open, maybe penye jua inaweza ichoma. Jua ikichoma, by the way, ina expand. It's a metal. Iki-expand, it has some effect in transmission. Ama ikikuwa baridi sana, ama sijui inatwistiwa namna gani. But then it's not a good idea if you're using this cable, then unaitwist namna hii. Iko mtu nimeona ameifunga hivi. Don't. Yeah, if you've done physics, you know, if I do this, what it means. Okay, hizi kataa kuwork, ita work, but it has some small effect. If you do a lot of this, if you have this cable, enda jaribu coil zote up to mwisho, something like 2 meters, then connect to computer, then come and tell us the story of what happened. Nothing bad will happen, just some poor connection, and some poor bad connection. So that is one. It suffers from something else we call attenuation. So most of these fall from affecting by weather, magnetic field, vitu kama hizo. Pia distance is an enemy of this cable. If you have an Ethernet cable, before, okay, if you read books, they tell you maximum distance is 50 meters, but I'll tell you this, it can work more than 50 meters. Depending on, of course, na connect kutoka wapi hadi wapi, and of course, penye inapitia. Ukiipitisha kwa makebo za stima, hata hiyo 50 meters haiwezi fika. The actual distance this one can go before ipoteze that signal, it's around 80 to 85 meters. Just this week, kuna mtu nimemconnectia very long distance, 60 something meters, from point A to point B, and the other side the connection was perfect. But if you go to 80, utafurahi. It won't work. What are other disadvantage of that cable? I think those are the few, The rest mtapata kwa notes, I'll upload. The other cable is called coaxial. Yeah, coaxial. Na sina hapa coaxial. Niko na coaxial kweli. I had one, but tukienda break, I'll check and see if I can find one. I'll show you, even the fiber optic. Now, coaxial cable, it's just a cable. Actually, pia na iko na copper. Iko na just one thin copper cable ndani. Then imekuwa insulated juu. Then on top here, kuna mesh. Kuna kitu kama kiwaya mesh kimeongezwa juu. Then another insulation on top. Yeah, it's mostly used for video intercom. Video intercom ni vitu na video kama CCTV. Yeah. It's usually best for such kind of work. But when your technology inasonga, it's proving not that best. We can still use twisted pair pia kwa camera na ikawork mzuri. But before it was best for things to do with cameras. If you've done anything to do with installing cameras, of course, coaxial inakuanga the first thing in your head as the type of cable you can use for cheap ones. Now, coaxial iko na the same effects as copper. Ina suffer from noise, attenuation. In terms of distance, pia iko limited, and this one is even much worse. It doesn't carry power along, so distance yake ni kidogo sana. Kidogo in less than 30 meters. Kama kwani mlibatika kuwa na TV kama kwetu around 209 kweli. Kuna time fulani tulikuwa tunatumia hiyo, achana hii era ya digital imekuja. Kuna kitu fulani walikuwa wananunua, ilikuwa inaitwa booster, in case area yenu inafanya vibaya. Kuna kitu wananunua na connect kwa power, inamulika tayari. It was called a booster. Why were they buying? Because your signal ni mrefu. Signal ikifika kwa TV ni weak, hakuna kitu inaonyesha. So wananunua booster kuboost your signal. Ikitoka kwa ile ikifika inakuwa boosted, tuingie kwa TV. Ndio nyinyi muone Citizen mzuri. Yeah. That was the technology behind that. It was nothing to do with wale wako na pesa na wale hawana pesa, no. So that is the only problem with coaxial. distance, noise, attenuation, kama tu copper. It doesn't carry power along with it. For twisted pair kama here, there are 4 pairs. There are 4 pairs. It's just a plastic. There are 4 pairs twisted around each other. Easy 4 pairs again zimekuwa twisted around each other by this plastic. Of these 4 pairs, one pair inabebanga power. Usually inakuanga depending na standard unatumia. It can be either this green and green white or blue and blue white. Zinabebanga power. That is positive and negative. Then the remaining 6, some of the remaining 3 pairs, they carry your data. That's how it works. So alternatively utapata zingine ni just 3 active, moja ya power, 2 zinatumiwa for data. But hii moja ya data ina act kama as the return journey for power. Ama negative for power. Wataki kwenda kwa physics mingi. Anyway, that is copper and coaxial. The third type of communication media tunatumia is what we call fiber optics. Fiber optics is it's a glass cable. It is made up of glass. These two transmit data in form of electric signal. Fiber optic transmit data in form of light signal. Ni light too. Nilikuwa na example hapa. I think tukienda break I'll pull those cables and show you. Transmit data in form of light at a very, very high speed. And there's something about refraction, but now it's physics. It's physics. In refraction, it's a glass tube. So information yako inakuwa converted to light signal, inakuwa introduced at the one end of that glass tube like this. Kama inamulikwa, then inaenda ikijirefract from huku hadi penye itafika the destination. Ikifika destination inakuwa converted back to electric signal na inaingia kwa mashine yako na wewe unaona vitu zako. That's how fiber optic works in a Lensman way. Fiber optic, it doesn't require it doesn't need boosting for small distance. Actually, if you compare cables, fiber optic is and will remain the best of the best. It can go up to 90 kilometers without being boosted, without an extra power. That's why the internet consume fiber optic. I said before, around 85 to 90% of the internet is made up of cables. Those cables are fiber optics. Now, you have discussed about noise and attenuation, about magnetic field effect kwa the copper and coaxial. Fiber optic haina hiyo. Why? It's not electric, it's light. The only thing inaweza affect ni wewe uvunje glass. Otherwise, it is super fast. It's very, very fast if you compare with the two, which are slower. It worked for very, very long distances before signal equal weak. And the third thing, okay, it's fragile and also expensive. It's glass. Fiber optic cable wezi ikunja the way nimekunja hii. You can't. Ukifanya hivi umevunja hiyo glass. It has to remain straight. But because it's very fragile, if you ever seen a fiber optic cable, inakuanga na guiders. Guiders ni wire tu zinaifuata. Ni fiber optic ni kamoja, ni tuwili, tunanga tuwili tudogo for these small cables. Small tuwili tudogo. But along unapata kuna guiders kama 3, so unachanga. Why yenye itumiki ndio nono kushinda yenye inatumika. Yeah, guiders is just to make sure nikiitani hivi, guide itanikubali niitani ikunjike hivi. Na kama nita manage nifurute na nguvu, of course itasikia because it's the glass breaking. Many people are consuming fiber nowadays. Very super high speed. In Kenya umeona watu wengi sana. If you're living in Nairobi, that's something you need to have seen in your neighborhood. Kama ukaocha kama mimi, ni story too, but I'll show you one. So that is fiber optic. I'm saying we only have 3 minutes. Let me discuss that one. The fourth one, inaitwa microwave. Microwave. Microwave ni how do I explain this one? Microwave communication. Kuna hizi vitu zinakuanga pale KBC ama any media. Ni kubwa DSTV, yeah. That type of it's usually wireless, what we call microwave. Microwave. They are just waves but in small bits and they can go very long distances. Then the last one, which closely relates to this one, is what we call satellite communication. Satellite communication. And ikisema satellite doesn't point to the outside the earth, ndio watu wafikiria aya kwenda hadi kwa satellite huko juu. Satellite ni vitu wewe uko nazo. If you have a TV, you know you have an antenna. Yeah, that one is a satellite device. If you've seen this, hivi tulikuwa nasema sijui mbona watu wanaziita dish. Okay, they are called dish, plate like, yeah. They're used for satellite communication. Kazi yake ni ku receive na kusend, of course in form of what we call electromagnetic waves. Your phone has one. Ukiangalia simu yako hii part ya juu, but ndani si juu, you can't see it. Iko na a very shiny plate, kama ushaifungua simu kadogo kameenda zigzag. Yeah, that one is usually used for hiyo ndio antenna ya simu yako. Inachukua data yako, ina convert to electromagnetic waves. I think after the break I'll explain. Ina convert to electromagnetic waves, alafu ina send. Ikisend penye of course itafika itareceiviwa. But for satellite communication, leave microwave alone. It works for a very small distance kidogo sana. A distance of I think less than 10 kilometers. That's why sometime ukienda if you go to some places with your phone, unaona network iko chini ama mtu akikupigia unasikia unakatika. Yeah, such kind of problem. Why? Because you've moved away from your kitu inakutumia your signal. Those signals, of course, it's your they call them boosters, but anyway, they're called signal towers. You've moved away from that signal tower. So your communication is a very short distance, of which if you go very far, unakula ngori. So it has to be within that region. So at least now you know why you usually suffer from that network problem, because you've moved away. Solution si wewe uhame ama sijui useme ununue simu ingine. The solution, move closer or talk to Safaricom so that they can bring one of these signal towers. They shall be doing on Friday. Then time is supposed to be 8 p.m. Ni ile the last session ya kwanza usually inaanza mapema. This one niliona mkupata email plus hawaku. It was a little bit late 8 p.m. But Friday it will be 8 p.m. Tutakuwa on
recording in progress.
thing is good. So let me see what but leave it to it was mahala. But to rahisi to computer network, don't imagine it being that tough. It's not tough. And also for I'm keeping it simple, then giving you that chance to go and do your bedega unajiambia ni ngumu. Something else. Okay, then something else before time elapses. Yeah, I think, it has been, I don't think it has been recorded. Abdimin akiwekea video mnachangamka. And about breaking, I think it's more of problem is from my side. It's from my side. Okay, so but if you can still get me, I was explaining about topology. Topology is the arrangement of devices in a network. When you arrange it, if you have 10 devices, how do I arrange that one in the network? So that arrangement is what we call topology in a computer. So there are a number of topologies. I'll just pass over by a few of them. One of them is called bus topology. And in bus topology, there's one channel inatumika kama the bus. A bus, of course, something you pick from. And kama highway information. Then if you have computers, they're all picking from this bar. But that's how data works inside a computer if you are working with this. That's why connection in Etwanga bars, the bus. So these is a bus topology. So you can decide to arrange your computers in this form. But again, best. We have another one called star. In star topology, we have one central device that every device in a network connects to. So that's the central device. Then we have computer 1 connecting to computer 2, connecting to computer 3, then computer 4. Yeah, they form something like a star. And that's what we mostly highly use in computer network. If you have a network in your home, I'm sure that's the one you're using. Then you have another one called a ring topology. Ring topology devices zimejipanga in a ring manner, in a kind. Let me just draw it. Time is telling me goodbye. That's a ring. So these are nodes. This one is not a node. This one is a central device. So in ring is zimepangwa in a ring kind of arrangement. In star, we have one central device, then other devices connect to it. In a bus, we just have one central bus connecting to devices branch from it. Ni kama stima, by the way. In electricity, it's called arrangement inaitwa parallel. Then ring inaitwa series arrangement. That's the plan. Another topology, we call it tree topology or hierarchy in a hierarchy. Now in hierarchy, devices are as in consume more than one topology. Unaweza pata zimepangwa bars na star. Hapa ni bars, hapa ni star. So kama hii device inaweza kuwa a member of this network. So such kind of arrangement is called tree topology. So from top to a different tree. That's what the internet actually uses because the internet has to be hierarchical. From top, star huku chini ni venye wewe utamua. Then another topology is called mesh. And in mesh topology, let me use for. In mesh topology, one computer connected to every other computer on that network. So any computer is connected to that network. Kama ni any other in that network. Kama ni yeah, that's the same. So one device in a connect kwa zote. With a computer, that one is technically not possible. Why? Because most devices we use, actually all devices that we use that consume this type of cable, LAN cable or Ethernet cable, they only come with one Ethernet port or RJ45 port. Whether that port is called RJ, shape ya hii kitu. The same way tuko na USB. This one is that is the actual name of it. But this one is under Ethernet port. Yeah, kuna RJ45, we have the smaller one for telephones, we call them RJ11. They usually is 6 or 4. Yeah, they're called RJ11. So RJ11P, and female. I think kwa stima kuna waga na male na female connection. Yeah, you should know that. I'm saying I only have 3 minutes, so I don't think I have a lot of time to explain this. I was saying mesh, computer inakuja na only one port, so it's impossible for me to connect 5 computers to one computer. Yeah, you can't do that. So that's why mostly we usually consume star topology. I think those are the only ones. Kama kuna ingine we utaona kwa notes. Doubt. Ni kama hata this topology kuna disadvantage. So that important take out kama ring, of course ring ni serious. That means if one computer is shut is down ama it's off in that network, kuna mtu hakuna kitu anafanya because connection inapitia kwa hii inapitia huko in brief hivyo tu. Computer network mingi. If you're done computer package mahali bahati mbaya ni hiyo ulifunzwa, if you're given the chance. If you did computer networks 1, that's what you did, by the way. You learn computers, types, topology, model, what else? Communication medium or communication channel, computer networks. Yeah, just that. But sasa mnaenda deeper na story. But in simple terms ni hiyo. On Friday, we shall be talking about the internet. Then I'll introduce one of the softwares you're supposed to download in week 2 and use. So to introduce, show you how to use it, the draw.io. So make sure you go to your class, click your link, itakufungula your Microsoft Store and download. If you've already downloaded, well and good for you. If you haven't, we shall see how we do it. Sijui kama bado tuko na swali. If you have a question, we have something less than a minute ya kujibu. Kama hakuna ni sawa. Then as nikifunza mostly wanga nimekaa hivi because of the screens. My camera is here. I have this computer, but it's not comfortable to use because it is right. So na prefer nitumie this other one because they are connected and they work as one. So until next time, which is Friday 8 p.m. For now, it's just goodbye. Kama kuna swali, DM. Aya, adios. See you next time.